In 2017, Andrew Luck missed the first 8 games of the season due to a shoulder surgery, and the Colts spiraled out to a 2-6 start. He was set to return for Week 9, but after experiencing some shoulder pain during one practice, that's when the Colts decided to shut him down for the rest of the season. Without Luck, the Colts would finish 4-12 with one of the worst records in the NFL. This was a tragedy because in Luck's first 3 seasons, they made the playoffs, and in every single season, they got better, including in 2014, making the AFC Championship. However, the last 3 seasons were the complete opposite, as Luck was injury-riddled and the team didn't even make the playoffs once. If they wanted 2018 to go well, a lot of things needed to go right and a fresh start at head coach needed to happen. First, the Colts fired 6-year head coach Chuck Pagano right after their Week 17 game. The Colts would hire Frank Reich to be their next head coach, who had helped the Eagles win the Super Bowl the week prior. Let's now look at the draft, and the Colts' biggest need entering the draft was an O-lineman. That's why Luck kept on getting hurt, because he kept on taking too many sacks. So because of this, the Colts would take Quentin Nelson, a guard from Notre Dame, at 6 overall. And with their first 2 second-round picks, they would take linebacker Shaquille Leonard first. At the time, he was known as Darius Leonard, and guard Braden Smith. The Colts had also signed tight end Eric Ebron in the offseason, and despite being a top 10 pick in 2014, he had kind of been disappointing so far. So it's time for the regular season to begin, and now with a healthy Andrew Luck and a new head coach, how did they do? Through 6 weeks, the Colts were 1-5 and were looking like one of the worst teams in the NFL. What do you do after the season? If this season continues like the way it is, do you rebuild or what do you do? And by the way, they don't even have their first round pick this year. It's still Washington. Now, at least Luck was doing good. Through 6 games, he had 1,792 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. If he continued this play, he was on pace for a pretty good season, but if the team wasn't going to do well, this season would be forgotten. But what the team next would take the NFL
touchdown. Flag is down. It's walking it toward the end zone. It is Royal Stadium. Andrew Luck to Eric Ebron. Low. Caught. Touchdown. Rodgers. The Colts have tied the game.
The Colts were the hottest team in the NFL. They had started out 1-5 and were now 9-6 and 1 game away from clinching a wildcard spot. A large part of this success was Andrew Luck. He'd end up winning Comeback Player of the Year, and he'd have a career year all across the board. Wide receiver T.Y. Hilton would gain over 1,000 receiving yards, and new tight end Eric Ebron would have a career year and make his first Pro Bowl team. And their draft class was also a big reason why this team was doing good. Darius Leonard, one of their second-round picks, ended up winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, and their first pick, Quentin Nelson, a guard by the way, finished in the top 3 in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting, and he's a lineman. That's crazy. Their last game was against the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans were also fighting for their own playoff spot. Thankfully for the Colts, every time Andrew Luck has started and played against the Titans, they have won every single game, so odds are if he plays, well, they're gonna win. So let's see how it went.
The defense moving all over the place, and Luck dancing in the pocket, breaks away, keeps his eyes downfield, fires back in the end zone. It is caught.
They would beat the Titans, and they would clinch the last wildcard spot in the AFC. They would play division rival the Texans in the wildcard round, and the Texans beat them out for the AFC division title. So the Colts wanted revenge. Let's just say they got their revenge.
First and goal. Ebron, what a year for him. Eric Ebron, touchdown Colts.
the Colts would dominate all game long and they would beat the Texans 21-7, and they were up against the Chiefs for the divisional round. However, the Colts would lose this game, which would end their spectacular season. But don't worry, there is a ton of hope for the future. That's why there's no sad music playing. If Andrew Luck stays healthy and they keep this young core together, which is very possible, the Colts could be a dynasty or at least win a Super Bowl. However, just weeks before the season, no one died, but tragedy struck.
So the Bears are set to kick this off, and you see Andrew Luck on the sidelines, and you see the graphic on the screen. There is a report that has been filed by Adam Schefter of ESPN that Andrew has informed the team of his desire to retire from the National Football League.
Certainly isn't how I envisioned this or planned this, but I am going to retire. This is not an easy decision. Honestly, it's the hardest decision of my life, but it is the right decision for me.
I'm not even a Colts fan. I'm nowhere near close to being one, but this is still super unfortunate and it still sucks to this day. Ever since they drafted Luck first overall in 2012, they had hopes that they would win a Super Bowl with him, and for it to end like this with really nothing is super unfortunate. In those years that he was hurt, it seemed like all hope was lost, but after that 2018 season, there seemed like there was still some hope left, and especially in 2019, maybe they could win it all that season, but instead, well, it just lingers as a big what if.